connected with your forehand, whether or not you have more confidence with your forehand or backhand. We just are using now example wherein you're just connected with your better forehand than backhand. So, play percentage tennis. Now, I'm coming down to the subject connected serve and return. When you're just serving and have more confidence to your forehand side and forehand stroke, you have to try to stand just near to the center mark, the so-called hash mark of the tennis court. I'm not standing as usual here. There are different players, also pro tennis players, profis. They are standing more outside or less outside. But I am standing extremer, less outside, less inside, sorry. Alright. What do I produce by this example? I'm producing advantageous situation for me, but it's more probability that I will hit more forehands than I supposed to stay here. Okay? So you're using more forehand side, and you constrain, you force your returning opponent to play, if he wants to use it, more to your backhand side. And if he's constrained to use more exactitude to your backhand side, he risks more. Alright? Good. When I am playing serve from the left side, I am standing more to the left side. We have to take on account that the right hand is hitting hand. Is your hitting hand on the right side? If I'm standing on the right side, you have your hitting hand on the right side. If I am standing on the left side of the court in the at-court position, I am always having this hitting hand on the right side. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to stand more on the left side than on the right side. Alright? Don't forget, we have no analogical change between right and left side, because I do not play tennis with two hands. I do not serve with the right hand on the deuce court and with the left hand on the at court. If it would be so, I could agree with you, but the case shows quite another example. Alright, now, very important aspect connects us with the serve approach. That means when I just try to produce a game of serve volley, it's extremely important to know that when I plan attack to the net, approach to the net, I have to get more self-confidence and to use more volleys in training. It's extremely vital to use my toss more into the court. That means not upon the baseline, not behind the baseline, but that I can step in. When I'm teaching children on it, I'm trying to explain them, use whole alphabet. That means when you're running into the net, but before, you have to stop on your T-line. We call it T-line in Europe. I mean the service line. It means more hot seat zone. I am using my serve by tossing the ball into the court and running very fast to the net. But what occurs before, in between? Split step, ladies and gentlemen. Stutter step or check step. We can use some names about that. Later, I am very responsible for the next volley. it is extremely difficult to use my springs to the net and stopping just before it close to the net, all right? And it's not advantageous for you. Why is it not advantageous? Because your opponent could lob you over your head. If you have problems that your opponent lobs you, try to stop before the tee line. Agree to attack the net, but try to split before. Usually, that is in hot seat zone. It means in the area at the tee line, just like a letter T here on the tennis court. But you may play the next volley. I call it volley number 1 on the tee line area, and the second volley is quite close from the net. The closer to the net you are, the more possibilities are for you as well to use a sharp angle to the side. And the last momentum, it means last free area, free space between your body and its movement and the net you have. That means you risk less to hit the volley into the net, or to get a ball into your knees, or in your forced to play half volley. I want to add something extremely important here. If you plan to serve and run down into the net right now after it, try to use a maximum sprint between grunts, just baseline, and the tee line. Alright? What meets the other criteria later, you have more time. I have to use this split step because you can recognize, you can anticipate the next oncoming ball at the return of your opponent, no matter whether you're using your serve right now and running to the net, or you're using approach shot by on a change of balls, waiting up and preparing a situation where you want to agree with attack. Alright, don't forget, the sooner you hit, that means the faster you want to use your stroke, the less time you have to use. That means that the opponent will respond to you sooner. Alright, you can strain your opponent to get it, to have less time, but you just make the situation so that he just has less time himself as well. So now the sprint between the baseline and the tee line max. Don't forget about your toss. You're using your toss forward, alright? Not a vertical toss. And try to get in. Split step, and then first volley, you're running down close to the net to use the second volley. Okay. These are extremely important aspects which meet the criteria of the serve. Alright, now the problems on the serve. If I want to use more speed on the serve, I said to you, use speed of the racket more than any other part of it. But there is second aspect, which is extremely vital here, that you relax your muscles when you hit. Alright, Boris Becker, when he just uses his serve with his forehand grip, okay, he has his point of contact sooner. What's advantages, of course? If I take my racket with semi-continental grip, it means this way, my point of contact will not be so soon as at Boris Becker case. It means before my body, more before. If I take a continental grip, more extreme grip to the left direction, backhand grip, backhand eastern grip, which will be used as well on the serve, the point of contact is not anymore so far as forehand grip or semi-continental grip. Alright, and I have to use my turn of the hand. I have to turn it just like you would to read the clock on your right hand. That is called in tennis pronation. So Boris Becker, by using his serve, use extra, additionally, pronation, turn of the hitting forearm. He's using it, of course, in extra movement from downward to upward. He's bending his knees very extremely and getting up, and in this moment, when he's getting up, he's trying to use his swinging motion. If you're bending your legs optimally, more on your back, you're getting more down to backward side. That means that it's easier to put your racket top point here, frame, this part of the frame downward, and to indicate show to the ground. This way, the path for a swinging motion is longer, okay? You have to coordinate with your timing, your time, but you have more weight, and try to use this weight maximum, alright? Then you can produce more power. How can you produce more power? Additional, I gave you some tips about that, but now, if you relax your muscles, you can hit your serve with better speed. Many players try just to imitate Boris Becker by playing the serve so hard as they can, but with tensed muscles. We have to relax them. I will give you one example. If I am throwing the ball just like a key, I'm trying to reach the other side of the baseline, alright? Could you just film this way? Could you take a film? Wait a minute, please. Mógłbyś przekręcić, że ja... Wait a minute. Alright. I am trying to toss my ball, to throw it over the baseline right now out of my hand. Alright? And I am using my swinging motion like that, with much power. Okay. I have reached the high net, the fence, and right now I am trying to relax my muscles, and I will reach the same. Where is the secret? Oh, sorry, the ball is on another court. That's no matter. Alright, that means that I can produce more speed, more length of the ball by tossing it with relaxed muscle. You can translate it into the serve as well, in operation with the racket. So don't think that Boris Becker uses his maximum speed. He tries maximum speed in optimum acceleration of the racket by tensed muscles. He's using it just by relaxed muscles, alright? So tense muscles right now. Sorry that I'm filming it from the left side, but I think you can understand and you can see. I tried to tense my muscles. Okay, I can reach this serve effectively as well. But you cannot serve all the time like that. Okay, there are individuals in this world which are using it, but more of the people are getting muscles injuries. If you want to just practice your power, then it's good. But if you want to practice your serve, try to use your relaxed muscles. So now, relaxed muscle brings more acceleration and more speed right now. Alright? Good. The faster you want to hit your serve, the closer you have to aim. That means you have to imagine your tennis court box, service box, shorter, alright? But then please do not risk a net. If you just, if you see that your ball lands in the net, you're trying just to imagine yourself any obstacle on the Jew's service box right now, and try to overdo this obstacle, okay? Try to reduce your power, and you're trying to think about the service line. And relax muscles bring more land into the trajectory of the ball. Alright? That's extremely important by the serve. How still you can get more land. There are people, particularly women, in beginner's tennis or intermediate tennis, that they cannot just put pressure into the serve. I would just advise to use just your string. I would just use your strings normally less than it is in your pounds or in your kilos in Europe, kilograms, and try to do this practice on a tennis court. I will bring you something more. If you really have problems with your serve that you cannot bring it over the net, you're picking up your height, okay? It means through the height of the ball you bring more land. That is not only on the serve, that is also on your ground strokes. You pick up the serve, alright? And one more time, you pick up the serve. It is not so necessary to toss your ball more forward, because the contact of the ball with the racket must be like that, alright? If you can imagine your clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 or 9 o'clock, and you turn the ball like that, your clock, you're trying to meet the ball just on 3 o'clock. If you just imagine your ball as the earth, you're trying to meet that on the equator, alright? So if I meet it on the equator, if you have a woman who wants to learn serve, just more certainty on it, more self-confidence, or just teach her like that. Try to meet the ball like that, and try to meet it just like that, and try to make it just like that, okay? And then the swinging motion. You can try it this way, throw it, and meet it at 3 o'clock, or later, make it backswing normally, and meet like that, and stop it. But she go through, she has met the ball in this point, or you continue your swinging motion forward 2 seconds later. These are steps of the serve, like that, at 3 o'clock. So now, backswing, 3 o'clock and 1, 2. 2 seconds. You're starting to count in the moment when you meet the ball. It means in impact moment, alright? And you're continuing your swinging motion, your follow-through motion, alright? Don't forget about 2 second time. that you're trying to cross your hands. Of course, there are players who are just having their follow-through motion to the outside of the card, like that. But it's extremely important in this case to get in, to use your dynamic. For instance, Yannick Noah of France, also Boris Becker is going to outside, but he has a forehand grip, which helps him to use it. And he has to use his muscles and his dynamic going forward by his spring jumping into the court. Alright, there is still Australian serve. According to what I explained to you, at 5 o'clock. Once again, I will explain you this case still lighter, still easier. 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're trying to meet the ball at 5 o'clock. So under your equator, okay? Some degrees downward. But don't forget, the higher I want to play, the more land is there. So don't forget about 5 o'clock, same, and now, same, I swing back, same, and now following through. Why do I call it Australian serve? Because Australia is located under equator. So you're meeting your ball under equator. Later, there is Northern Europe serve. It means I am trying to meet the ball somewhere where Germany or Poland, in this case. But if I translate it into language of clock, we have 1 o'clock at this location. So I tried to meet it at this location. But on condition that this 1 o'clock is met by the racket at impact so high as you can. You have to feel how big you are, how you're growing, inverted commas growing, okay? So you're trying to stretch your muscles from the